It's 10 o'clock and it's Blabbing for Britain, episode 68. Morning, John.
Good morning, Stephen and Stephen.
And good morning, Stephen.
Morning, John and Stephen. How are we?
We are good today. I mean, we're heading towards spring, aren't we? Which is a good thing. But I tell you what's done me this week, that's the clock's change.
But we haven't had it yet, Stephen.
No, we haven't. But the US have had it, and the US had it last Sunday. And I managed to triple book myself for 7 o'clock because I thought it was going to be an 8 o'clock show with Jeff on BeLive.tv. And of course, it became a 7 o'clock show, which meant that I couldn't produce Peter's show, which meant that Peter produced Peter's show. And everything went right apart from one little thing.
Well, no, two things went wrong.
Okay, go on.
Well, one, you're right, he didn't check the Facebook button, so he went live to nobody.
Oh, no.
And two, he meant to remove a picture from the screen. Can't think of the words at the moment. Yeah, and he removed himself. So we ended up hearing half a conversation. And the sadness is, I think it was the best show he's ever done.
Right. Okay. Well, it's good to have that on record. And Peter, if you're watching, there you are. It was a good show. I mean, the unfortunate thing is that you don't know at the time because you can't go around checking everything to make sure everything's okay. And there are so many things to do when you're running a show that sometimes you just miss the little thing. And I think by default it should go out to Facebook. That would make life a lot easier.
Doesn't Facebook allow for 2 up at the moment?
No, Facebook's only 1 up. Which is why there is a market for third-party apps. Indeed. Right. What's happening around Stoke at the moment, Stephen?
It's cold and miserable, but getting better. Stoke is lovely today, and the blossoms are out. And I'm just trying to think about what we had. I don't know if you're aware of it, but there's in the networking scheme of things, there's obviously loads of things going on. But there's a particularly good little group called Staff's Web Meetup from the sort of meetup system. And we had a great chat last night. 20-odd people in Stafford, so it's not Stoke, but it's Stafford. And the really good news is that I won the raffle. And for the second time,
wow.
And I have some gorgeous coffee. So if Peter was here, I'd be able to send some good coffee vibes to him, but he ain't. But it's about people involved in web stuff and some sort of serious players there, and some great talks and presentations. And there's a mate of mine called Trev Adams, and he was moderating a debate about issues that people came up with. So it was sort of really different from what you might consider the norm for networking, because all the people were arguing about various quite esoteric things actually at times, but well worth doing. And the news from Stoke is that in the next 2 weeks we're setting up something called Stoke on Tech. Did you get it? Stoke on Tech.
Yeah, Stoke on Tech.
Which is going to be a sort of a technically focused bringing or coming together of tech inspired people who work in technology, because there's loads of small and medium
Oh dear. No, I can see you.
You there, John?
I can see you. Well,
I think we're back. You're on the main screen now. Can you hear me?
I'm afraid, Stephen S., you sound like a robot.
Okay, I'll reload. Oh dear.
Oh, I'm here now. Well, he's frozen again, I'm afraid.
Yes, of course I can. Yeah, can you can both hear me? Yeah. Fab. Yeah, I used to work for Stanford University back in the days when PDAs were a big thing or an emerging thing, and the number of small and beautifully formed tech companies in Stoke was an amazing thing to see, and they're still there. They're still doing great stuff. From animation, we got a really great animation company. We got loads of digital design agencies and sort of what you might call hardcore programming software stroke app developers. So it's just a chance. So Stoke on Tech will be quite a great thing. I think.
It was once the home of a very famous IT company, wasn't it?
Go on.
ICL. Come on, you used to make.
No, that was Newcastle under Lyme, John. I'm afraid. But
Stoke-on-Trent to us people south, you know.
It's like. That's like Solihull and Birmingham. It always got mixed up.
Yeah, but that's what everybody does anyway, you know.
Interestingly, you mentioned ICL, and there's on the A34 near Trentham Gardens. There's a small brick building, only about the size of 2 garages, and for the last 10 years, I've sort of always driven past it, and it says that it's about repairs and mobile phone repairs and what have you. But it turns out it's sort of an office, a front office for an ex-ICL a group of guys who got together and do maintenance and repairs on technology stuff. So, I mean, I was in 1978. I was an ICL computer operator back in the day, and I'm cueing you two now to talk about IBM versus Honeywell versus ICL, but. Yeah, so yes, it was. ICL was huge around here, John, especially when the poll tax came in. So there were so many account managers who got their yachts.
I started my programming life on the 1901T.
Oh, Christ, you're going a bit further back than me. Mine was the ICL 450. This is going to go right back into sort of history now, isn't it? And there's a Facebook group we set up on Facebook with ex-operators and programmers and support people. Happy days. But it was great. There was a huge battle between IBM and ICL in the UK. Obviously, I thought ICL kit was best because they paid my salary. But it's like Apple versus Microsoft, isn't it? You know, ICL versus ICL versus IBM. What were you on, John?
Sorry?
What did you work on?
Well, I learned on the 1901T because I went to Solihull Tech in 1972, which used the council's 1901.
I used to support
paper tape, send it away, come back, and you'd missed out. Misspelt identification division, and the rest of the program had been rejected. So.
I used to run what was known as user services for Solihull Council, and that was fun and games. And that was on ICL kit, of course.
I think they'd still be on ICL today if there was an ICL today.
I agree. It was good stuff. It was good kit, and that, I mean, I was operating on the ICL kit for the North Staff's Health Authority, as it was then. Those were the days.
I can still hand punch a car.
And they had these cars.
And now Stephen's gone wobbly as well. So I don't know what it is today, but it seems like the bandwidth fairies are having a feast today. Well, while there's no one else here, I'd like to say hello to Diane, and I can't pronounce your surname. I'm not even going to try, who's joined us from Oxford on Facebook. Welcome to the... Diane, I was just saying hello, but I'm not going to... Yeah. I was just looking at the surname and thinking, am I brave enough to attempt it? I've decided to be a coward and say, hi, Diane. Diane can come on and tell us if she wants. Dovniak or Dovniak. Grey, just grey. It's not raining. It's not. There doesn't even appear to be any sun behind the grey to burn the grey off. Yet it was a fantastic day yesterday. So fantastic, I snuck into the garden for an hour and a half in the afternoon. I just decided on the basis that I was going out networking in the evening, Stephen. So, Chutney and Chat. Chutney and Chat is a monthly Birmingham event, although it takes place in several other areas of the UK. And basically, a whole group of us get together and take over a room upstairs in a curry house, would you believe? You get a wide mix of people. There were about 65-ish people at last night's, maybe even a couple more. And last night we went to the famous, famous restaurant in, yes, I can't think of the name of where we went. Al Faisal's is the name I'm trying to look for, which is down the famous Ladypool Road, which was the origination of the Balti. The Balti was invented in Ladypool Road. Yes, although we didn't have Balti last night. I wasn't impressed with the food last night. It was. I think what happens is that they know that there are English, Scottish, Welsh, whatever you want, people coming, and they tone it down a bit. And last night, I think they forgot to put the heat in any of the food. It was sort of. I don't mind a curry. I certainly am not a Vindaloo person, but I don't mind some heat to the curry. And last night, you know, it was just bland. But next time we'll go, it'll be a different chef probably, and we'll get a different food. So, but Ladypool Road is very famous in Birmingham, and there's a restaurant called Adil's, which sadly has gone up market now. But you used to go in there, and it was glass top tables with newspaper underneath the glass top, so you could read the newspaper. but they'd be months out of date. So you could read a newspaper, but it was all about what happened months ago. Very famous because it has a bullet hole in the window, which is still there. So that's Adil's in the famous Ladyport Road, where there are more curry houses than anything else, and it's about a mile long.
So you could start at one end and not finish for weeks.
You'd probably be very ill if you tried to attempt to. There's one or two places in there that you certainly wouldn't get me in. They're not very nice looking, shall we put it that way? So,
yeah, I understand what you're saying. And now that I've changed the screen, I've got this on screen, and it's looking good. Stephen's back. Just give me a second.
Yeah, so Chat is organised by a group called Pathway to Grow. Yep. And Pathway to Grow are Birmingham based. They have a daytime event called Coffee and Natter once a month. They have an evening event called Chutney and Chat. And they have a ladies event called Samosa Saturday, which is, as the name suggests, yep, female only. Although I've seen a few pictures with blokes in it recently, but they've been the speakers apparently.
Oh, right.
But they started this off in Birmingham. They next replicated it in Derby, and now it's in Bromsgrove, London, and Bradford. And they're now looking for further cities to expand into. If it's near you, it's worth a visit.
Okay, well that's a good in for Derby, because you just mentioned Derby, and today Toyota announced that they are going to invest 240 million in the Burnaston plant near Derby. Now they
near Burton-on-Trent, but don't tell anybody.
I love that area of the world, and hello Nazim, and Nazim's saying he would go to the Chutney event just for the food. There you are. Right. Okay. Now, so yeah, it was said that there'd be no more inward investment into the UK, but 240 million is quite a chunk of money, and hopefully other car manufacturers will follow suit. And
well, this is their second tranche, isn't it? Because they put money into Sunderland as well.
Right. Okay. So that's a belief in the UK being still the place to actually manufacture cars, because most of the cars that they make are exported into Europe or out to Europe or that way. Tempted here to go 2 up on screen. I think I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for it. Right. Okay. Now, this is right. Stephen's saying, can we go to plan B? We'll just carry on here for 5 minutes, and then I think we go to plan B. John, yeah? You go for it? I don't know.
I still think Stephen needs to sort his line out or his kids out. But let's go to plan B, because it would be good to find out whether Stephen's kit functions under plan.
Well, and mine as well. So I'm going to do that. It means that we'll still be on Facebook at 10:30, but we will be on a different place. In a different place.
You won't say it. We'll be on Be Live.
No, we've got to be kind to Smiletime. We don't. I mean, the thing is that this is beta. We don't know whether it's us or whether it's a platform itself. So we're going to do a test, and in 9 minutes, Stephen will go to the other place. Yeah, because that's the thing that came out this week, in that you can now have 3 people live on screen on Be Live, and 10 in the green room, so you can swap people through. And there was testing that went on yesterday, and our test that I did was reasonable, and the test that Jenny did was perfect. So we'll see how it goes. It just gives us more options. That's the thing. And I was fortunate to be on the BeLive.tv show on Monday night, as I said. Even though I was triple booked, I had to pick one, and I picked to go on BeLive.tv official show with Jeff Adams, which I ostensibly co-hosted. I think he said that at the end. I'm not quite sure. I didn't I didn't know I was, but I mean, it's quite good. So we're back every Monday. The next Monday is at 7 o'clock, and then every Monday at 8 o'clock, the BeLive.tv show. And it has an increasingly good reach. It had 2,500 people watch the live show, which, you know, is brilliant for getting the word out. So we'll try that plan B in 7 minutes, just because we can, really. They're beta testing it, and we can go for that. Right, you had a story which you brought up, which is about the Conservative Party
gang being fined £70,000. Is that the one?
That's the one. Yeah.
Yes. Irregularities to fundraising for the for their campaign for Brexit. So it's quite interesting.
It was a general election, John.
Oh, general election. No, I've got Brexit on the brain, that's all.
We all have. We're waiting for the button to be...
I just said Brexit because Brexit's on the brain.
Yeah, we're waiting for the button to be pushed, aren't we? Before the end of March.
Yeah, well, there's a few people I think who've got it right that we should never push that button, but I guess it's too late for that now.
Yes, it is. We've been told what. So.
Right, I'm going to try the other platform in a moment. But yeah, I mean, we do know that we're actually going to be, well, Mrs. May will be pressing the button on Article 50.
It's a shame Peter's not here though, because we can't get a Scottish view on.
Well, we can't get
referendum.
We can't get a balanced opinion either on the UK, because all three of us wanted to remain. Now, okay, I think what we do is we take a break from here, and we'll be back on Facebook in 5 minutes with a brand new show. Okay, show 68A. Okay. Right. Shall we do that, John?
Yes, let's give it a go.
Okay. So we've got a 5-minute coffee break. Go and make yourself a brew. Have a cup of tea. Thank you for watching us so far. We'll be back in 5 minutes' time again on the my Facebook page. 5 for 5. Right. So I'm going to take John off, and I'm going to say thanks for watching. See you shortly.